Hello, I'm Phil and a warm welcome to Festool TV. When cutting materials such as this piece of skirting at 120mm and using the back fence of a sliding compound mitre saw can present certain challenges because of the depth of cut. But with the KAPEX KS 120 we can overcome these very simply and easily with the addition of a couple of accessories. So we can use two bed extensions on the left and also the right hand side to increase the width that I can work with. So with the clamp on the underside, we can put this onto the profile. And then we can also attach one onto the right-hand side. So this will give me some extra support, but with these two black elements here, it means that these can slide forwards and also come back towards me depending on the thickness of the material that I'm going to be working with. So the next stage is to find the angle that I need to cut my skirting at. And for this we can use the angle finder. And with the angle finder I can undo the screw here, we can then open this up. And I can use this to find angles for internal corners but also for external corners as well. So for internal corners I can find the angle and then we can make the mitre cut for opening up for a scribe. So I can push this into the corner of a room so these two elements here, the two aluminium parts, are tight up against the wall and then we can lock this off into position. So not only have I found what the angle is, but when I use a laser on the KS 120 and line it up with this hatched line along here, it also means that I've bisected the angle. So the big benefit of using this type of equipment is that I've saved a lot of time. But we can also use this for external angles as well. So with the two aluminium sections I can push these forward. And I can do exactly the same thing again. I can push this up to the corner of a room, an external corner, and then we can line this up. I can then tighten this up into position, and then we can slide these back. So the next stage is to put this onto the back fence of the KAPEX along here, and then on the top of the saw we can turn on the laser. So the next stage is with this laser line along here, I can line this up with the hatch line, and then we find the exact angle that we can work with. And once that's in exactly the right position, we can then lock off the bed of the fence. And the next stage is to show you how we can gain the extra depth of cut with the KS 120. So the depth of cut that I want to work with is 120mm. In this position currently, the KAPEX will cut 88mm, but we can make a small adaptation to the saw so we can gain this extra depth of cut. So on the left-hand side is a lever. When I bring this lever down, it then gains me some extra space on the back of the blade. So at the moment, when I bring the head of the saw down, this will cut to 88mm. On the back of the saw, it will cut to 104 because of this small flange here, and so from the flange to the tip of the blade is 104. So when I bring the saw head forward and bring this lever down, we can then push the head of the saw back. We can then lock this into position. So now when I bring the head of the saw down, we can gain that extra depth of cut at 120mm. So the next stage is to put the timber onto the bed of the saw, and then we can bring these two black elements on the left and the right hand side to support the material while the cut is being made. So I can now bring the timber or my skirting board up against the fence. So the left and the right hand side cuts are ready for when I do both sides of the cut. And then we can bring the material along to this position. And you can see here where the laser comes down this line here. So I can pre-mark where my material is going to be on the face side, but I can also then line this up with the laser line, knowing that I'm going to get a really accurate cut while I'm working. So the next stage is to switch the machine on, and then we can make the cut. So that's the first cut made on the left-hand side. If we want to do the same cut on the right-hand side, I can either go back to using the angle finder, or I can see the angle that's been marked off on here already, and then we can replicate the same angle on the right hand side as well. So I can put the angle finder in position, and now we can slide the base of the saw around, and then we can do exactly the same again. We can line it up with the hatch line. So it's in position. We can then securely lock the base of the saw in the right place. And I've already put this in position so that the material is held tight up against the fence, and now we're ready to make the next cut. So, working with the KAPEX KS 120 to cut material at 120 millimeters in height very accurately, but also we save a lot of time by using the accessories such as the supports, the bed extensions, and of course the angle finder as well. So I hope this has helped your understanding of working with the KAPEX KS 120 for really quick, accurate work, and I'll see you again next time.